Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing great today. Okay, so someone asked me a very, very important question that I wanted to answer publicly. He said to me, Joe, why don't you support one Nigeria? And I asked him, what is one Nigeria? And he said, one Nigeria is uniting everyone under one umbrella, one name, Nigeria, so that we can become one and love one another, so that all the divisions will disappear. Bottom line, unity. That's what he said. So I told him clearly that one Nigeria is not about unity. It's not about uniting Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba, or any other tribe. No, it's not. One Nigeria is all about oppressing, suppressing, and keeping the Igbo people permanently caged, permanently incapacitated, permanently emasculated economically and otherwise. Put them in chains. Do not give them any breathing space, because if you do, they will overrun everyone, overrun the entire place, and outpace the colonial forces who are behind the curtains engineering all of these that you see. The whole idea of one Nigeria, let me say it again, is to keep the Igbos permanently incapacitated and enslaved. That is the truth, only the truth, and nothing but the truth. If you wanted to unite Nigeria, you don't have to make noise about it. The indices of unity are there. There are so many things that Nigeria could have done if they wanted to be united, if that's what we are pursuing in Nigeria, if that was the agenda. I'll give you a few examples so you don't think I am just speaking sentimentally or I'm just being a typical Igbo man, playing the victim's card like you people always say. Explain to me why people in Yoruba land, children at school, are not being taught Yoruba language, Igbo language, and Hausa language at school. Explain to me why kids in Igbo land are not being taught all these three major languages, and kids in the north are not being taught all these three major languages, so that whenever they go to any part of the country that they don't originally come from, they can easily communicate with their fellow Nigerians. If an Igbo child gets up from Igbo land and gets into Yoruba land, if a Yoruba child gets up from Lagos or anywhere in Yoruba land and gets to the north, they will never have a single language barrier. They will speak to whoever is there and they will understand. If this was implemented when I was in primary school, even secondary school, by now our own children will be the next generation that is carrying on them this mandate of unity, a very critical aspect of that unity that you say they are looking for, which is not what they're looking for. If unity was the agenda, why is it that the military was structured in such a way that there is a massive lacuna between the military in Nigeria and the people of Nigeria, the civilians. The military functions in a way that when the people see the military coming, they see an enemy. When the military sees the people coming, they see a potential enemy. There is no connection, no love affair, nothing whatsoever, because they were structured to protect the interest of the colonials at the center, where these things are dictated from. The military's job is to answer to the federal government. Go to other countries in the world. You will see the relationship. Have you seen where the military is punishing a civilian in Nigeria? You can just tell that there is no relationship whatsoever. It was by design. If a military man is in trouble somewhere today, Nigerian people, for the most part, a greater percentage will allow that military to perish if they won't even make it easier for him to perish. Because there is an enmity that is created between the two. It was by design, because they are meant to protect the forced unity. So that if anybody wakes up and says, I am tired of this fake unity, I want to have my own freedom, the military will step in. If anybody challenges anything that has to do with the fake union, the military will step in. Rather than saying, no, the people have the right to say they don't want. We are the military, we will stand with the people. No, but the military will stand with the federal, which represents the colonial interest. And so, one Nigeria was meant to be protected by the military. And that's almost like their sole responsibility. That anybody who shall dare to come against this whole idea of one Nigeria, which is actually not about one Nigeria, that the military shall come to find out what your problem really is. As you have seen in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and any other person who had tried, boom, they are the first. They don't send the police, the military will come for you. Because one Nigeria is not about uniting the independent nations that existed in Igbo land, in the north, in the west, before Lugard forcefully amalgamated in 1914. One Nigeria is about keeping this rare breed of people in eastern Nigeria in shackles, because the moment you leave them, they will just take over everywhere. They have found out what is in the Igbo man. They have written about it in their colonial books and writings, and everybody knows that's what it is. That's why an Igbo man is not allowed to become the president of Nigeria. An Igbo man cannot have seaport in his region. Any seaport that is even in close proximity to the Igbos must be destroyed. That's why we had to dismember the geopolitics of the Igbo man, so that we can make it look like they are isolated and that they are landlocked. It's all about, if you want to be hated by the colonials, get close to the Igbos. If you want to be loved, you better punish the Igbo man. That's why everybody has mouth to talk to the Igbo man in Nigeria. It's all about the Igbos. 20 pounds given to them after the war, where they lost close to 6 million, and yet today, by several years ago, they said about 55% of the money in circulation in Nigeria is in the hands of the Igbo man, and they are still rising and taking over. It's about the Igbo man, not about real unity. The earlier we understood this, the better for all of us. But we are here to stay, and we will be free one way or another. God bless you.
at the topic, Igbo quest for Nigeria's unity. These are things that agitate my mind. I started thinking about how we've been having this conversation about the unity of Nigeria. And I reflect back at some of the prominent statements made by some of our founding leaders. And I feel that probably this will help us to have a conversation on the Nigerian unity. I just brought four, not to bore you. First, and I quote, not my statement, Nigeria is not a nation. It's a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria from those who do not. This is accredited to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the former Prime Minister of the Western region. The second one, and I quote, it is true that we politicians always delight in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria. What is now Nigeria consisted of several large and small communities, all of which were different in their outlooks and beliefs. The advent of the British and that of Western education has not materially altered the situation, and the many and varied communities have not knit themselves into a composite unit. This is accredited to Sir Amadu Bello, former Premier of Northern Region. The third, and I quote, since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, in their religious beliefs and customs, and do not show themselves any sign of willingness to unite. The Nigerian unity is only a British intention for the country. This is was said by Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, the former Prime Minister. The fourth and the last, let me not bore you. And I quote, each of our three regions is vastly different in many respects, but each has this in common, that despite variety of languages and customs, or differences in climate, all form part of one country which has existed as a political and social entity for 50.
Ogun State. People must say, hey, one Nigeria, that kind of boy, you want to divide us? Now, it's your one Nigeria now. He said, that's come to you. That's come to your village. One Nigeria has come into Ogun State. And you're not in the Republic as a refugee. Are you now shutting one Nigeria again? Because you were before, you were accusing everybody. Well, what IPOB is doing? Now you are a refugee in Benin Republic. How far, I'm asking you? Do you see how foolish you are? You are now in Benin Republic as a refugee. What drove you away from your father's land is your belief in one Nigeria. A name you know means nothing. You know, that is, you know, sometimes when I look at black people, I wonder what type of God made these people. Nobody can ask him or herself who created Nigeria and for what purpose. They can never ask themselves that question. Somebody will wake up in the morning and say, oh, I'm a proud Nigerian. And you cannot help but feel sorry for that idiot because the soul is lost. They have no brain. Only an idiot will say Nigeria is his country. I'm telling you the truth. God, people in Ogun State, let me mention the villages for you once again. Asa, Egua, which is E-G-G-U-A, Ayetoro, Igbogila, and Imeko in Ogun State. They are now refugees in one of the poorest countries of the world, in Benin Republic, a giant of Africa seeking refuge in one of the poorest countries of the world. Isn't that laughable? Isn't that laughable? I'm asking you, are you not ashamed of yourselves? All of you saying, I'm a proud Nigerian. Don't you have shame inside you? It's because of because had there been an Oduduwa nation, you cannot come and drive these people away from their land. Somebody cannot come all the way from Niger Republic, all the way from Mali, all the way from Timbuktu, and come to Ogun State and drive you away into. Are you not ashamed of yourselves? You know, there are some news that I come across sometimes, and I wonder if people actually read those news at all. I wonder. The time now, for those who do not know, is 8 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra, the top of the hour right now, because we're live and direct. I'm asking you once again, all of you shouting one Nigeria, had there been an Oduduwa nation, the fact that our made with Ojukwu, had that been a reality, do you think that Yoruba sons and daughters would have fled to Benin Republic, where they are now refugees and refusing to come back? Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. We always win. I told you before, I'd forget all this. At the end of the day, they can dance around all these issues. Ultimately, they come down to our position. We always win. The zoo cannot be won. Yoruba people are scattered all over the place. They're now refugees. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Hey, unbelievable. Some of the areas where many people lost their lives, and what we have mentioned, the Ogun State Governor, Dapo Abiodun, has promised to improve the security and also compensate the affected farmers with palliatives in the form of cash and food materials to come back. And they said, no, we don't want your palliatives. Take it and go away. Do you still believe in one Nigeria? Zoo animal, let me ask you again. Do you still believe in one Nigeria? I'm asking you. Do you see the level that your idiocy and stupidity has brought you to? Have you seen the level that somebody, a Fulani bandit, a Fulani monster can travel all the way from Gambia? Nothing. As soon as he hits the northern borders of Sokoto, between Sokoto and Niger, they give him AK-47. And then they transport him with Dangote trailer all the way to Ogun State. Somebody from Gambia, no passport, no formal residency in Nigeria, will now come into Ogun State and pursue you from your land. You are now a refugee in Benin Republic. Somebody from Gambia is now in your village. You know, if you script this as a movie, people won't believe it. They'll say it's not true, it's not correct. Somebody will travel all the way from Senegambia, come to Sokoto. They give him AK-47 because these people we are told are outsiders. If you give him AK-47, he will now drive all the way to Ogun State with AK-47. It's either he traveled with it, crossed all those police checkpoints, or somebody supplied him, in this case, Nigerian police and Nigerian army, controlled by the Fulani. Now, people that actually own the village from time immemorial, they are now in Benin Republic as refugees. People that just came a few days ago. This is, it's like a comedy. It's like a comedy, honestly. Oh, God in heaven. And who are those responsible? Those of you shouting one Nigeria. Do you see how idiotic you are? Idiotically idiotic you are. One Nigerian people. You people are the worst sort of fools I've ever seen on this earth. You people are so foolish. That is why Fulani are slaughtering you, because you are foolish. Your foolishness is the reason why Fulani are killing you, driving you away from where you are now refugees. Now the governor, those palliatives, so they said they will not give to people during COVID. They now want to use it to bring you back 2 bags of rice. You come back and then Fulani will put their knife in your neck and cut it open. Do you think CNN will report it? You've got to be dreaming. Nobody will talk about you. After all, Bill Gates wants 300 million Africans dead. So if you're one of them, so what? We are in one almighty mess. And may Chukwu Kikabiam in heaven please save us, because people are very, very foolish. And we are not going to indulge them in their foolishness. We can't indulge them at all. Even in Sokoto, because I pray every day, and I will say it in Igbo language so people can understand me very well, because I'm in the spirit. That hand with which they pulled that AK-47 may they use it to turn the same AK-47 against themselves. Let that hand they have used to poison your children, may they unwittingly and inadvertently put it in their mouth, that they too may become poisoned. That is why today I gladly report that there was a successful bandit attack, or should I say, some people clashed with bandits in Sokoto. That's how they will say it when they report issues affecting Biafra. The army will come to your house and kill you. I remember when the army came to my house to kill me on the 14th of September in the year 2017. I remember Nigerian newspapers saying that there was a clash inside my house. I was sleeping and they came to kill me. They said there was a clash inside my house. I was in my house and they came to kill me. They said there's a clash, oh, there's a clash. So today we report that there was a clash between a community and bandits in Sokoto. And these bandits, they stormed the village with sophisticated weapons and opened fire, killing a lot of people at a place called our community in Ilela, local government area of Sokoto State. None of these names are Fulani sounding names. These are indigenous people, maybe not even Hausa, because they believed in one Nigeria. That is why a Fulani criminal can travel all the way from across the Sahel, come into their village and kill them. Had you reasoned and said no to one Nigeria, then people will go back on their own, and then people can then come back to renegotiate a union. And in that union, you will say, nobody should carry AK-47 or move their cattle about. They use cattle to get all of you. Only cattle. That's what they used. It's a way of life. It's a way of life. Leave us to grace, to grace. That was how they entered you. You understand that? You know, that is how it is. That is how it is. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed. You know, it's so disheartening that people have refused to learn, not to reason. Gunmen suspected to be armed bandits have attacked a Marawa community in the local government area of Sokoto State, killing at least 10 persons dead. Why are they dead? They believed in one Nigeria. And I'm sure there were some of those fed the rubbish. What a name, the kind of saying is bad. He's to bring war like one idiot. Just talking rubbish, absolute rubbish. The day they will cut off his head, I won't send any condolence message. Why are you being killed in Nigeria? Have you ever wondered why Fulani is taking your lives over? Because you are in one Nigeria. If you are on your own, nobody can come in. You issue visas. If you say don't come in, they cannot come in. But you prefer to live in ignorance and cowardice. And that is why what is happening to you is happening to you. Very, very sad indeed. Extremely sad indeed. I have gone past, I said I will be here for only 1 hour. But things are happening and I must preach this very gospel from heaven. As we do it, so is heaven pleased with us. Our women were brought to court today. 50-something of them.